Okay, after my presentation the other day at the IJO conference, somebody asked me a question out in the hallway, and then it hit me. This was what I forgot. Because remember, I was finished about 6 minutes early and I was saying I forgot something. This was what I forgot. This was part of the tying it up into a tidy little bow. So I just thought, even though I'm back in Nashville, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this and show you the one little part I forgot. All right, so first, let's revisit two terms. Major catastrophic incident and an ICS is an incident command system, and an incident command system is developed to deal with an MCI. So, remember this chart, that right here, that a very specific criminal activity was discovered right here, and this is in regards to the recession, that a very specific criminal activity was discovered. The reason I went into all of the detail about the mortgages and the subprime mortgages and how they got intermixed and all of that, the main reason I wanted to do that was so you would have an idea that there was something specific that happened. There wasn't a million things that caused this. There was one thing that caused it, which then caused another million things to fail. But as soon as this MCI occurred, right through here, an ICS plan was developed in order to try to mitigate the disaster, okay? So the Dow Jones Industrial Average at this point, at its lowest point, it hit 64.85. Today, it's over 22,000. Okay, so why is that important? That if you take the Dow Jones Industrial Average and reduce it to its most basic description, it is nothing more than a collection of the largest employers in the United States. That if the Dow Jones is doing good, companies are expanding. If the Dow Jones is doing bad, companies are reducing and they're closing factories. When this happened, all of the Dow Jones companies were heavily invested in those mortgage bundles. So all of a sudden, they started failing. So we were closing factories, we were closing stores, we were laying off workers all through here. This ICS plan was developed to try to stop that. And believe it or not, it worked because we got to mitigation. And then we have rolled out to here. Okay? So what you have to decide for yourself is, if you understand what caused the disaster, which was one specific, very criminal element, that here we are at 22,000, does that still exist over here? The answer is no, because the ICS plan was developed to eliminate what happened here to get us to here. We didn't get here by accident. We got here because behind the scenes, there were things going on that the public wasn't aware of. There was a full ICS plan in place, okay? So we got to here because the ICS plan worked, okay? So as you are moving forward and buying at this conference and buying for your store and looking to the future, the hardest part to discern is about this right here, because if you read the news, watch the news, read a newspaper, they're all saying the same thing. The sky is falling. Are we in for a double dip recession? You know, this fall we're guaranteed to have another recession. Why are they saying that? Okay, so let's split this chart in half. This is the recession side. ION. This is the recovery side. Okay? That a disaster, an MCI, remember, an MCI is not a static event. It moves, it ebbs and flows. The disaster has already rolled through this procedure, okay? But the media is still right here. That this is where the media lives. If you open any newspaper and read something about the economy, they are still here, okay? The disaster has already moved. The media didn't. So if you know what caused this, and you know that something was done to repair that, to move us through a very predictable pattern that an MCI follows to get to here, you have to ask yourself if we're here or are we here? Because the media has never moved off of it. So that was the main reason I wanted to go over exactly what the main precipitating factor was, because you will never hear in the media that they fixed it. But if you know what happened and you know the steps that were taken, that had taken place to get us to here, then you can have a different level of confidence as you are looking forward and moving forward, especially at this conference, buying for your store, that if you feel good about here, don't listen to the news, because the news has been here for years. So anyway, that was the part I wanted to finish. So anyway, buy a lot. Bye.